identified dwindling fish stocks in Lake Victoria that has seen them come back home empty-handed after long nights in the lake. In a previous interview with KTN News, the fishermen blamed their woes on the rising levels of water in the Lake Victoria, which has created bigger room in the adjacent vast wetlands. Kevin Ogutu caught up with Dr. Crispin Nyamwea, Assistant Director in charge of limnology at the Kenya Marines and Fisheries Research Institute, KEMFRI, in Kisumu, and now brings us this.
You know, the lake has shifted its boundary quite a bit. And with that, it has, the submerged vegetation is providing shelter, or we call it a refuge for fish. So fish that could ordinarily be exposed now have hiding grounds in the vegetation. And so somehow, when fishers go out there, they don't find them because the fish are in the submerged vegetation, taking cover. And that is good for conservation because we are ensuring we are going to have a good recruitment into the fishery in future. But also think of it, you have maybe 100 people in a room. A room is maybe 100 square feet. What if you double the size of that room? The people will still be 100, but the chances of encountering one reduces. So the lake volume has increased, and the fish are the same, so the concentration of fish is much lower. That's why you are seeing fishermen, when they try to set out their nets, they are getting fewer, because the volume has increased, and the fish have also shifted their residence places to the vegetated areas. This illegal fishing they usually target young fish in their breeding grounds, and the gear they use there is usually destructive to the ecosystem. So apart from taking out the young ones, it also destroys, like, let me call it the nursery grounds, or the maternity for fish. So it affects recruitment for the next season. We get fewer young fish going into the fishery in the next harvesting period. What we see over time is that we see fewer and fewer fish, but more and more fishermen targeting fish because of issues around population growth rates. So the profitability of the fishery diminishes when you see the ecosystem is degraded by such things. And now you have fishermen getting very little out of the resource. When fish become fewer, you use more effort to catch one fish. So you reduce your profit margins. And that's what we are seeing. The fishery is not profitable as it used to be when we had fewer fishermen and the population was small, and people had alternative livelihoods. If you go back into history, the fisher community, they were not just fishing, they were also doing farming. But the current crop of fishers we are seeing, they are concentrating only on fishing, so the sources of livelihoods are less diverse than before. In cognizance of what is going on, and in the bid to ensure we have we secure supply of fish in the future, the government is invested in a number of conservation programs, that is protection of fishing grounds, putting in regulation measures that are aimed at protecting the young fish and protecting also the breeding stock. These are the fish that produce the next generation. We have measures that are there. For a long time, the main problem has been compliance. But through the Coast Guard, we're seeing patrols are increasing. And what that means, the chances of being caught while doing illegal activity have increased. So either we are seeing people abandoning the illegal fishing methods like beach scenes, or those who are persisting, they get caught. And this coincided with with the COVID pandemic that affected fish trade in one way or another, so and also the rising water levels.
All right, and now just to give us more perspective on the ground on what is happening, we are joined by a fisherman and equally a fish farmer. His name is Joseph Odongo. He is based in Busia. Joseph, kama unanipata, hali imekuwa vipi katika nyanja za uvuvi huko Busia?
Ni sawa bradama. Ninakupata, but you know the challenge we have in Lake Victoria about the fishing, the illegal fishing. No, by now we have the year 2004. In Lake Victoria we have around 26 species of fish. By now, we remain with the only 6 species of fish, like bota, this Nile perch, omena, oyogo, this daga, which we call boneless, which is by now remaining in Lake Victoria. And the major issue is corruption, Ministry of Fishery, because these officers, they are allowed fishermen who are using this monofilament nets, this beach fence, and the other illegal methods.
Thank you so much for that. So what have you guys seen being done to counter the issue about illegal fishing? I'm asking, what have you seen being done by the government to counter the issue about illegal fishing? Because you've given us quite a telling picture of what it is like down there in Busia. So what has the government done to counter this illegal fishing?
You know, what we need the government to do, especially this Department of Fishery under CS Peter Munyak and the Professor who was in charge by now. He was the PS of Fishery. We have Mr. Daniel Mugai who was the director of fishery in inland water, like in Lake Victoria, Lake Baringo, Lake Naivasha, to stop or to give fishermen this, which we call standard manufacturing nets, which will produce nets which were recognized to fishermen to catch a fish which is above 1 kilogram.
All right, Mr. Odongo, as we come to a close of this conversation, there's currently a shortage in the natural fishing. So what do you see is the future of fish farming in sort of mitigating the shortage that is currently experienced in the market by fish consumers?
You know, I'm not getting you well. I think there's an error of network.
It's okay. I can rephrase my question, Mr. Odongo.
I'm not getting you clear.
Okay.
Try again.
My apologies for that. I was asking, we currently have a shortage of fish in Kenya. The market is not being supplied properly. So what do you think is the solution towards this in relations to fish farming, that is pond fish farming?
About fish farming?
Yes, and encountering the shortage that we are currently experiencing in the country. What do you think is the role of fish farming in countering the current shortage that we are facing in the country of fish?
I'm not.
All right, we seem to be having technical issues right there. We'll be coming back with that conversation with Mr. Joseph Odongo, who is an aquaculture practitioner, fish farmer in Busia. And of course, the innovator is also coming up next after this short break, so don't go too far. We'll be back.